Welcome everyone to our very first session. We are doing a cross collaboration. It's Veronica Presley from Taproot Empowerment Centre. Then we have Dr. Vinodini from and myself from EzeEdu, organizing this event for parents and also all those who are joining us live now. The event is titled Multiple Intelligence. How do you identify your child's strength and how can it promote a positive or rather growth mindset? Okay, so we will just like to do it as a casual chat where you can just join in, you can share us your comments. And the main purpose for us to do this today is because we've been, maybe I've been lucky to join a lot of different schools, private schools, international school, public school for the past 15 years experience, and I've had this opportunity to be part of LEPAD once where we were doing school transformation, and I realized there's a lot of potential in teaching that's been wasted. So this multiple intelligence, why we are trying to highlight today is to parents, because in school teachers will actually try to promote multiple intelligence in classrooms via lessons. But now, since there's no opportunity for live lessons, physical lessons, so everybody's online, so we thought it's a good idea for parents to know what is all about multiple intelligence and how does it impact your child's learning, as well as how do you promote their growth, actually positive mindset and things like that. So let's get on with Veronica first. Veronica Presley from Taproot Empowerment. Maybe I'll just let her intro herself first. Go ahead, Veron.
Hello, everyone. I'm Veronica Presley, representing Taproot Empowerment Centre. We are actually a standalone, new, I would say it's a new organization, actually. It's me and my co-founder who we have actually started this initiative to actually advocate for growth mindset. So yeah, what is growth mindset? It's mainly we try to empower children in order to actually think in a more positive way when it comes to learning and going through challenges in maybe studies or even in life itself. So yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah. All right. Yeah. That's a brief intro from Veronica. Yes. Hi, Vino. Dr. Vino, you are in. Hi, so we just started with our intro. Okay, about Dr. Vino. Actually, Vino has been doing she's got a PhD from in instructional, instructional technology, Vino? Can you just brief us a bit?
I did my PhD in curriculum and instructional technology.
So we are trying to see how instructional technology can impact multiple intelligence as well, and how does it impact students. That's what we are trying to bring about through this session. Okay, so what is multiple intelligence? Anyone want to jump in? Okay, multiple intelligence is actually from Howard Gardner. I think it's way back from the 1876, if I'm not mistaken. And what Howard Gardner was trying to say is he identified multiple intelligence while he was doing this research on human brain. Okay, interesting enough, there was a brain damage, and he identified that although you have stroke and you're good at probably your linguistic, but your stroke, which impacted the linguistic area, could actually give you ability to sing or even to be able to understand music. So from that, he identified that there's 8 multiple intelligence actually, and how different areas would be impacted if we are able to tap the right potential. That's what he was trying to identify. And all this 8 intelligence, how do we identify it? So we at EzeEdu, what we try to do is to promote students from understanding what is it all about, from parents to know where is their child's strength. We have actually done this free quiz on multiple intelligence, and we have added it onto our website. You can actually have a look at ezeedu.com.my, and the purpose of it is for children and parents to understand what is their child's strength actually. And if the child, let's say for example, the child is really good at maths, but the child is not very good in probably linguistic area, or for easier understanding is words. They are not very good in language, or how do they write and remember. So what we are promoting is for them to be able to know mathematics better, and through understanding that, maybe they will get better in their other areas. So how do you identify this? You can actually log in and try it out for yourself, or even get your children to do, and see all the strength unfold once you have answered all the questions in the quiz. It is not a right or wrong, it's just to understand your strength, actually, your child's strength. So once you have answered that, and you will be able to see where is your area of strength, and how is it going to be promoted through learning different types of skill. Okay, anything, Vino, you want to add on about multiple intelligence on instruction?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
maybe because we see that when we look at the recent education and from the psychological research studies, right, it shows that traditional one-size-fits approach to the education is always ineffective. So it always
I think there's a bit of a glitch on the video. Okay, we are sorry about that. We'll come back to Vino once the line is fine. Okay, but moving on, in classrooms, actually, some schools, they were able to promote multiple intelligence when teachers actually conduct lessons, understanding all the 8 areas, and the teachers will try to incorporate music, kinesthetic, which is movement. They will incorporate activities, which is of written skills, and so on. But then now at home, I don't think there's going to be an online class which is going to incorporate all these 8 intelligence, and it's really difficult to do.
Yeah.
So that's why we are trying to get parents to actually understand the child. And maybe what you can do is, if the child is good in music, probably put a background music for them to really understand, to calm down, and so that teaching and learning at home will happen meaningfully. And that is one of our reasons for doing this session today. Okay, you know?
And
yeah, sorry.
Yeah. It's okay. I'll let Vino continue.
no, I think I went
Yeah,
off.
the line is not.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, so like I said, that different size, every learning have different way. Every student have different way of learning. So there's no one size fit every approaches, right? So that's why this multiple intelligence shows everyone like how information can be represented in a special ways, how they can be processed and turned into be very useful information for each learners.
Yeah, that's right. So
I also believe that it's actually a great tool to actually empower children, because when you talk about multiple intelligence, it talks about so many different aspects. So it actually gives the children a chance to actually explore in so many different ways, like maybe music or in maths or science. But I think it also the responsibility also lies in the hands of the probably the educator or the parent, the caregiver, to actually help these children understand like what multiple intelligence is actually about. Because when you talk about like multiple intelligence being either math smart or science smart, they should actually understand that you are not actually labeling the child as smart if they only know maths or science, but it's actually a stepping stone for them to actually involve into learning this kind of intelligences. Like they're actually, because their brain is so malleable, they can actually learn and master those skills. So yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's actually very true, Veron, because we are not trying to label the child, and this is not something that's set on stone. And this kind of strength actually changes over time. If that particular child develops an area of intelligence in kinesthetic, which is movement, the child really loves to go sports and activities and things like that. And sometimes we will see this kind of students in classroom where they will start tapping, moving, shaking, and then we will just tell them like, please sit quietly, don't move, and that will actually slow their thinking and their ability. But we don't realize until we actually study all these things and we know what it is about. So when especially at home now, when parents start seeing what is their child actually doing, and actually I believe that this COVID is a kind of blessing, Where in classroom, sometimes we'll try to get parents to come in and really understand their child, but parents, we don't have the time. But now we don't have the choice. In fact, we have to be there to teach and to see how our children can progress better. And this, in fact, has brought into so many other areas of concern, where parents start wondering if it's time for them to homeschool their child. Is the school really fit for the children? And is this the things that we want the child to learn? So there's actually a lot of things that's concerning multiple intelligence. So I would like to share how we can actually identify this on your own. Let me just bring up the page. Okay, so if you see here, this is on our website, ezeedu.com.my. And for you to identify your child's multiple intelligence, you can just go onto this website. You can click on take our free quiz. You don't have to register, log in, or pay anything. And here, if you can see, are you all able to see the screen?
No, we can't see actually.
Did I not share it right? I share the screen, just a minute. How about now? Can you see?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So before this, I was telling that you just go into the website and you go on to the take free quiz. And here you can see the multiple intelligence quiz here is actually adapted from Howard Gardner, as we mentioned earlier. And this test will be able to help you all to understand your child's strength, their ability, what they can do, and what is their interest in learning. And this result will help them to understand the way they learn and the occupation that reflects their strength. Many a times we have heard that students, when they are in primary school, they are all eager and they want to learn so much, and they say like, I want to become a scientist, I want to become a firefighter. But at the end, when they get on to secondary school, they slowly start dwindling because they get worried. Oh my God, I'm not good in maths, I'm not good in science. Will I be able to reach as a scientist? So we believe that if the child understands themselves better when they are young, and we don't really need to wait for them to go to secondary school or even to the college. Okay, because sometimes when the children get there and they don't really know if this is what they want to do. And that's why we have incidents where the child, after first year, they drop out from the course. Okay, so by understanding themselves better through this 8 multiple intelligence area, where we have interpersonal, which is social smart. Are they really good at with people? Some of them are really fun, they love to mingle, they want to be out there with their friends. But some are intrapersonal smart, which is self-smart, they want to be on their own. That doesn't mean it's wrong. That area will actually help to empower other areas. Then we have kinesthetic, which is physical smart. We have linguistic, which is word smart, number smart, nature smart, music smart, and also visual smart. So by taking this course, what you will be able to see is, let me share with you. Vino and Veronica, please step in, yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So from there, let me just share with you what you'll be able to see. Okay, so once you have done this, can you all see, ladies?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So once you're done this, you can see this free multiple test results. And this is where you will know which is your strength, the area of strength. And if the child doesn't do that well in one area, for example, this is a random sample that we picked up. So the percentages actually shows the scores, and you'll be able to see your strength, obviously. But scoring low in any one doesn't mean that the child is not good at it. It just means that you can practice and, of course, become better at it. And that is where I think, Veronica, you'll be coming on with multiple intelligence.
Yeah.
And how does it promote a growth mindset?
Yeah. So to take it on from there. Well, like I said, multiple intelligence is actually like a great tool to help empower children, because when you have this multiple intelligence, it gives them a great platform to actually understand themselves better, and they can also know what are the skills that they might actually need more training, or they need more help. So it does not actually make them how do I say? make them look like they don't know something, but it gives them the opportunity to actually learn and upskill themselves. So yeah, because learning is like a continuous process, and that's what we at Taproot Empowerment Centre we actually chose to work with children between the age of 4 to 12, because kids with their brain, which is very malleable. Yes, yeah. So because it's easier to actually help them to actually think in a more positive way, and when they actually start thinking, probably like they have trouble with their studies. So when you actually help them to think in the right way, it helps them to actually cope with that challenge even better. So yeah, so that's where we actually started with Taproot Empowerment Centre. So because we wanted to help these children to actually think better. So we go by our motto: when you feel better, you actually behave better. So when you're able to think better, you feel better, and when you feel better, you actually behave better.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's what we. Yeah.
So how would that impact through instructional technology, Dr. Vino?
Yeah, okay. As we see that technology is increasingly used in the educational process, right? So it's become more powerful tool to put the multiple intelligence into a use. So the purpose and the thoughtful association between the technology and also the Gardner multiple intelligence can benefit both students and also the teachers as well in the learning process. Let me just give you an example about maybe one or two of the multiple intelligence. Number one, let's say verbal linguistic intelligence, right? So it's referred to oral or written languages, store, processing, transmissions of information. So when we integrate technology tools into verbal linguistic, that means for younger learner, for example, storytelling application, which offer narrative, scenario, discussion for younger learners. But when you go to a more older learners, they benefit more from blogging on particular topics, group discussion, feedback notes, highlighting crucial points. Also, one of the way of highlighting these skills, right? So let's say moving on, like logical mathematical intelligence is mainly on solving abstract problems, right? Mental calculation, developing equations and proof. So when we look at it, the technology tools that help to develop these skills basically including like spreadsheet, database, online surveys, gathering, analyzing data, even online tools, application to create like digital or even printable timelines. Google Drive also one of the example that give a range of resources for students to collect data in an online form, creating spreadsheets, so analyzing results. So this is all like example of how technology tools help in developing some of the intelligence. Maybe one more example I can give you, like for example, let's say interpersonal intelligence, right? So it's more about ability to connect and interact with each other. So for example, there are a lot of tools that are involved in this learning. For example, using collaborative team projects, video conferencing tools, Skype, social media, which is definitely everybody is into it. So for discussion on the current event. So all these things are tools that help to develop this interpersonal intelligence. So each intelligence basically have their own tools that can actually support students or teachers to facilitate the learning and also to facilitate to empower student learning actually. Yeah. So this is one few examples that I can share.
Yeah, actually that's really true. That's why we will always say like COVID, no matter how bad it sounds like, but it's a lot of blessings in disguise, because previously, we will always keep saying that the students are actually meant for the technology world. We can't keep teaching them the same way we learned, but we never knew what is the impact and how much can we do with technology, because we didn't have the opportunity to even want to do it. But now with COVID, we actually need to do, and so this is how quickly we learn. In fact, we've done surveys where the students were saying that they can actually jump in and dive in and quickly start doing what they are good at. Although the parents say like, oh my God, why is it that they are spending so long in front of the gadget, and this is really not good for them. Of course, the screen time should be controlled, but again, they will develop the strength which is probably required for them when it comes to their working time. So this is all the benefits of what we are seeing through learning via multiple intelligence, and how does it impact their growth in the future.
I have to agree with that, because like how the kids are studying today is very much different from how it was in my days of school. So I wish like I knew more things back then. You know, it would have made learning or even coping through studies even better. Yeah,
So
true.
that what Veronica said remind me about one quotation said by a famous philosopher in education known as John Dewey. He said, if we taught students as we taught them like yesterday, we actually robbing them for tomorrow or something
True.
like that. So yeah, that means we need to change. It's because the way students learn change. So therefore, we need to think about what's the best way to empower students. Yeah.
True.
Even when it says like you have to teach the man to fish and you can't fish for him, that's actually a very meaningful quote. Because if we end that perception that everyone can fish in the same way, that is also because we don't really understand the child. Because multiple intelligence is what led to differentiation, learning differently. Because we are all obviously not the same, and it's never a one size fits all. So understanding the child and not making them feel guilty, like I still remember when I knew maths, but then at one point of time, there was this topic which I really didn't like, because sometimes we always blame it on the teacher. We say, oh, the teacher didn't teach me that well. But actually, because I didn't understand and it wasn't taught so well, I really began to hate the whole maths. I wouldn't want to go anywhere near maths. So that kind of things, if we were able to, I always tell myself, if only I knew what I'm good at, I will be able to develop myself differently. But probably it's never too late. But because of that, not knowing yourself, things just happen slower. So knowing yourself through intelligence and being able to identify, and parents knowing their child, that will make a real great impact to their future.
That is actually the main reason why we actually picked kids from the age of 4, because you know it's easier to actually start young so that they grow up to be better individuals. So that it's very important to start young actually.
Exactly. You know, this brings me to an example that I have, like when we were way back in this school in Melbourne, where the teacher was teaching the kids. We were in the primary, I put my son in the primary school, and we saw this teacher teaching. There was single noise we could hear outside, because the teacher were able to understand the child. They did all this kind of understanding through which intelligence that the kids are really good at, and they focus on them. They do differentiation, where at the end of the day we will see that the child will not be really focusing on every area of the subject, but only what they are good at. And initially we used to think, because we are all the Asian culture, we think like, oh my god, why are you not learning everything? Where's your homework? But by learning in such a way, I would really say that my son was able to develop his confidence better. He will be able to do things better because of the approach of how teaching is to be done. So that really made me think, and the reflection is really important actually. When we see some things that not happening the way it should be, we should really be able to reflect, because now I think information is just there. We just have to go search, use it for the best, and benefit from it. Yeah.
And I think another very important thing we actually have to teach our kids is how to be resilient, because given the current way of studying is very different from probably what they could have been studying all these years. So they could feel like they can't cope, and you know the way of learning is not the same, and they can't understand. So if kids could actually easily give up when this kind of things happen. So we actually have to instill probably resilience into them, so that they don't give up and they know how to come back, and to cope with everything again. So yeah, true.
I think it's another thing for the adults to get coping with, but for the children to cope. Probably children can cope better if we are able to tap in the right potential.
True.
Yeah, wouldn't you agree with
yes.
that?
Yeah.
And I think we are all walking examples for the children, and because they tend to mimic what we do. So if we are able to set a proper example for them, I think they would definitely be able to manage themselves better.
Exactly. So saying that, like, I wouldn't I think we were real advocates of multiple intelligence. So we really encourage parents out there to go and try out the multiple intelligence quiz. It's free. Okay, you can try it yourself to test it out whether it works and it is what it is said, and do, promote their ability, their strength. And if they are not good at something, it's just not to like name call or criticize, or it's us to promote their ability to work out their way. So just being able to know that which area you should focus and which one you shouldn't, that itself will bring a brighter future for them.
Yeah.
So let me just go and share our, okay. All right, so we have here, okay, for parents, if you want to understand better on what we just said about multiple intelligence and so forth, like, of course, we understand that you are their partners, their peers, you teach them, you are the caregiver, and you are their buddies. Because sometimes we've heard, like, because we've been in schools, and what we've been hearing is they are so afraid to speak to their parents. But now they have got no choice. It's only the parents there, and they don't have peers. So I think understanding that and knowing that the child, although they are young, but they really need this kind of approach because they have lost all their socializing. They don't have anyone else to fall back. So we can really try to understand them and go through this theory, get to know it better, and to be able to know that these are some things that we can actually do to help promote and inculcate the growth mindset.
Yeah.
Okay, so is there, have you got anything to add on?
I think like as a final word, maybe like we've been telling this from the beginning, that everyone possess all these 8 type of intelligence to some extent to another. So tapping into this intelligence, whether it's your students or your kids, you can be a teacher or parents, but remember that it always help you to achieve the improved result either in the classroom or your home now, because the home become classroom now. So later it will be a very a great potential to discover a great potential in your child day to day in the social world, I believe so.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think it's just time to break that and bring your kids out of that.
Yes. Veron?
Yeah, like I said, growth mindset is what it is actually, because you actually need to instill the positive thinking into the kid in order for them to actually be able to cope with what it is now, or even someday when everything gets better. It doesn't, because upskilling yourself doesn't stop at a certain level, because learning is a lifelong experience in a way. Even like in a recent article that I read in the newspaper, even our PM is actually he's actually insisting on everybody to have a certain type of skills and to actually upskill themselves even more, given the current pandemic situation and whatever that's happening. So because when you think right, you actually can be able to put a better output there. So if you think you can, you're right. If you think you can't, you're right also. So it's better to think the right way and make the right decision for your better days.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's all. Thank you. Yeah.
So we can't say anything more. I think we've already said it all, like how important multiple intelligence is.
Yeah.
So please go there, go try it out for yourself. Help your children to help themselves. Because if we miss this time now with your kids, they are going to go to school and feel a bit left out, because they need to get adjusted as well, not just we. I think they will also be finding it very tough going back to physical. Sometimes we will even lose that touch. So constantly telling them and explaining to them. Sometimes we have this perception that if the child is younger, they will not need to be taught. They will understand for themselves. We just need to teach the adults, the bigger, the teenagers. But actually, that is a real wrong concept. It is from the primary, from a very young age, that we need to inculcate all these habits so that they will really know and understand better. It's not that the kids are playful and they don't know, but it's only when they are playful, they are learning, they remember, and like what both of you had said earlier, it is from what we do that they see and learn. So thank you very much for joining us today. Please do share your comments, your feedback, and if there's anything else that you want us to talk about. This is actually a just chatting space, so anyone can feel safe to come and chat and to share, because we are all not alone. Every one of us is in the same issue. As parents, as young adults, as anyone at all, we do have our issues this current pandemic. So do share with us and let us know what you think about multiple intelligence. So thank you very much. Thank you, Veron.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Uno, for joining us.
Thank you, Dr.
And we
Rizal.
will see you all
Thank
soon.
you.
Yeah. Thank
Thank
you.